Hello gamers and welcome to That First Mile. We are continuing the training in Burden of Command. It will be released on 8th of April. Tactical Leadership RPG.
A good leader needs to be able to think ahead, anticipate a situation, and make a decision based on the best information available.
At last, the fighting dies down. Click where to proceed. Here we see Dick Winter, eventually a major with the 101st Airborne, during his early training in the US Army. Damian Lewis narrates his leadership journey in Dick Winter's Hang Tough. Video and images, time hack. Courtesy of the World War II Foundation. I think Winter, he's not like the main protagonist in Company of Heroes. He's also a hero in one ace, I should say, in Field Division 2. Okay. At last, the fighting dies down. Mission draw. The referees called it a draw. Nothing you could do about it. Man, draw. Referees call it a draw. Nothing you could do about it. This is my duty. Why are you in the army? Duty. This will help me defend those I love. Or they drafted me for this shit. Well, I'm actually in the army to defend those I love, so I want to choose this here as well. And just like that, the exercise is over. The next will begin shortly. Camp Pickett, 24th of September 1942. So we could aid our men, we could continue our journey, read things from home, click to read what they read. That's so cool. Let's do that first. Greetings from Camp Pickett, Virginia. Here we see the planes. Is that a Boston bomber? I'm not quite sure. Ah, okay, I must not. How do I zoom? Sure, with the mouse wheel I can't zoom right now. And here we see the marching over field. Are you a girl with a star-spangled heart? Join the WAC now. Thousands of army jobs need filling. The Women's Army Corps. In one of the problems the German army faced was obviously, lots of problems, but one was the ideology, and women were supposed to bear children. They did have nurses, but very late in the war, women were actually drafted, to for ammunition factories and stuff, and back us up in a war job. In particular, if compared to, like, I don't know about the US, but apparently they had more stuff going on. But also the British, there were, for example, lots of women in the, this Air Force Command Center that's under Dover Castle. There's a bunker you can go into. There's like a hospital as well, and there they had like I forgot the name of the room, but where they directed the entire Battle of Britain. There were lots of women working there as well. You can visit it. The castle is owned by and operated by the English Heritage. Headquarters, 45th Infantry Division. To each infantry regiment, 120th Engineer Battalion, and officers concerned. Following officers are assigned as umpires for the battalion GHQ efficiency tests. These officers will report to division headquarters for duty Sunday, 3rd of May at 8:30 a.m. Prepared for field reconnaissance. Transportation will be furnished by regiments and separate units to the officers concerned. Irving, Chester, Chink, Shirk, Armstrong, and so on. Captains, first lieutenants, and so on. Let's aid our men. Resources you spend on your men. Mouse over for more information. Captain earns extra trust and XP based on man versus mission performance. You see overall unit stats at a glance. Select a unit. Aid your man. Cheat sheet. Anywhere to continue. Decide where to help. Make a change. The cost is above. Can undo. Okay, that's good. Global undo. Also good. During training, aid is more limited. Pick any way to continue. During training, only XP and trust for leaders will be available to modify. So it's actually a good thing that I think I went for the trust early on. Casualties and combat stress will appear only when you enter combat. And then you'll need these other actions. Aid your men. Oh, agree. Regroup. New recruits maybe. Okay, click a portrait on the right to review and aid your man, or the question mark button bottom for help. Stress disables, combat fatigue, casualty. So we've got Captain Lamb. Commander trust earned +5. Commander experience earned also +5. Man draw based on last scenario man performance +5, and mission draw +17 prestige. First platoon, second platoon, third platoon, and fourth platoon. And this guy is enjoying his wine. But first squad, second squad, third squad. Here we do have a mortar and a fourth platoon, an MG squad, and another MG squad. Stern, Dearborn, Wilson, and unnamed. It's no stress. Mindsets. 0 out of 3 levels needed to activate. Activation of a mindset for gameplay requires strength greater or equal 3. Sepia indicates inactive. Where can we see our mindset? Editable. You can edit friendly core, company squad, and player character names. Click edit at the bottom right of mindset level. So here we could edit it, and that could be us, I think. First platoon. First squad, first platoon. Could change the portrait. And we can also pick the insignia, that's pretty cool. But I won't change it. No stress, no combat fatigue. 5 prestige for more experience. Experience range from 0 to 500. Every 100 experience creates a positive modifier. Help a subordinate leader learn from mistakes and successes. Here we can increase XP by 25 for a cost of 5 prestige. I think that's us basically, maybe. So we can't upgrade him. We can upgrade these dudes. This costs also 25. No, 2 at a cost of 2 loyalty and 2 prestige. And they cost only prestige. So we can't really upgrade anyone just yet. Go back and continue our journey. You could see a French rebel, a woman, or rebel freedom fighters, FFI. I think it's called FFI. Forgotten what it stands for. French Freedom Insurgents? I don't know. Quickly Google that. French Forces of the Interior, that's what it stands for. French Resistance Fighters. Seems to be a problem. Ah, no, it was just loading, okay.
Well, it was infantry. And infantry is different than cavalry. We didn't have horses, but they had light tanks, the cavalry did.
So what kind of training then would you have in the infantry?
Bayonet, hand grenade. You don't throw a hand grenade like a baseball, you lob it.
Well, that's really cool that they put interviews in. Gerald Yaxley, September 11th, 2007. Lots of veterans have died by now. It's 2025. Recording is already 18 years old. Not quite, but Gerald Yaxley of the 104th Infantry describes his training early in World War II. It's important that things like that, experiences have been recorded and preserved. I hope he's still alive, obviously. 24th, second effort. 24th September 1942, Camp Pickett, Virginia. The soldiers of your platoon are weary in their boots as they march back to their starting places. The morning run and the recent field problem have both clearly taken their toll. Platoon Sergeant Bennett glances your way, and the unspoken question of whether to quicken or slacken the pace lingers between you. Let them rest, they are worn out. But the thing is, this is only training. If your men pick up the pace, the men will be slightly fatigued and suffer very little suppression. They will also acquire very little experience. Experience will eventually increase unit performance. Time for double time. The men will be fatigued and suffer a little suppression. They will also acquire a little experience. Experience little is better than very little. So let's go for the experience. It's only training. Bennett passes along your order, followed by a few choice insults to put the men into columns. The men gripe about this until they are doing double time. As the assembly area, the field umpire with the captain's glass gives a little nod and recites his expected line. This field problem concerns fire and movement, culminating with an assault upon the objective. Except this time your platoon will have support from your company's weapons platoon. Burden of Command is a game about leadership. Because without leadership, men are just a mob instead of soldiers. These history tabs will reveal the sources behind our design. There's a soul to an army as well as to the individual man. No general can accomplish the full work of his army unless he commands the soul of his men, as well as their bodies and legs. William Tecumseh Sherman, as quoted in Atkinson. Okay, enemy squad is in the building. We've got one of our rifle squads here, and the weapons squads must be somewhere there as well. Heavy weapons coming up. Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett notes as a dozen men from the weapons platoon hustle over. They don't have real 30 cals yet, just locks painted black. Yeah. Those are supposed to be as heavy as the real thing, but the beefy officer leading the weapons platoon carries a log as if it were no heavier than a baseball bat. Lieutenant Stern. Weapons for training were in short supply. Actual weaponry was reserved for units deploying or Lend-Lease deliveries. This particular image is from the film War Comes to America, Building Our Military. That's really interesting. Hey Stern, we are about to kick off. Verbosity +1, verbosity, okay. Wave Stern over. Field umpire will take care of things. No, we're going to continue with the waving, I think it's cool. Stern waves back and strides over. This is Stern. You're almost late, Lieutenant, the field umpire notes. Click anywhere. It was a long run from the target range, Stern replies even. But it'll be the Krauts who will be doing the running when we take a crack at them. Yes, well, today's objective is for a combined arms assault on the farmhouse down there. Field umpire says and points to the little house in the distance. Time will be, as it ever is, a factor. Stern certainly. Yeah, at least the umpire is staying focused. Wait until it's clear the umpire is done talking. Stern looks your way. Tell me what to hit, and we'll hit it hard enough for you to schlep right over, he says, then glances down the 30 cal in his hands and chuckles. Well, we'll pretend to. Anyway, back to your platoons, lieutenants. The field umpire says to you both. You're allowed only limited communication while the exercise is paused. In particular, the weapon platoon will be initially unavailable. What completely valid reason is there for that? Sarcasm? Understood? Or rifles first because? Understood. Well, if he says so, that's the way it is. It's as easy as that. Good, because it is part of the exercise, the field umpire replies, and that is apparently that. In Germany, we say in the army, we say the best reason. What's the best reason with 4 letters? And the best reason with 4 letters is ISO, ISSO, which basically means like this. That's the way it is. And so there's no explanation. It's just because. So yeah. Remember, rifles first, then the machine gun. Stern gives you a knowing nod at that news. As the two of you depart for your different platoons, you consider how best to develop this field problem. Your 3 rifle squads are organized as part of 1st platoon. Machine gun and mortar are part of the weapons platoon. Each platoon has a leader in command. Stern is in charge of the weapons platoon. Rifle squads. Shooting expands up to 2 orders. 1 order to move. MG team 1 order to shoot, 2 orders to move. That's interesting. Mortar squad 2 orders to shoot, 2 orders to move. And then the leader 1 order to move or shoot, and he may use bolster, rally and press. We've got everything but tanks. Sergeant Bennett remarks. Each platoon will have a different role to play. Expand up to 2 orders to shoot, but only 1 to move. Machine guns expand 1 order to shoot, but cost at least 2 to move. Mortars cost at least 2 to move and up to 2 to fire. Some of the combat outcomes you will have to sort. And yes, these can be accessed by the GUI reference screen, the one you bring up by hitting the question mark. Bolster 2. Units gain temporary morale if a leader is present. Shooting and assault become more effective. Rally, suppression removed. Suppression via combat shock, and then there's casualties.
Bennett tells me you're progressing, LT. So today we get to talk about tactics, not just mechanics. Without further ado, why don't we go to, I think, the core of how we're different from most tactical games that the casual gamer or others might be familiar with, namely bang, 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 you're dead games. This is true of a fair number of tactical World War II games too, but I don't think of reality. You know, people don't want to die. You fire at them, they're going to get down behind the stone wall, and your bullets aren't going to do much. So, instead you need what's called the 4Fs. So here we are in Germany. You've got elements of a rifle platoon, you've got Germans up north, and your goal is to suppress them first. You're not going to succeed in killing them, they're in pretty good cover, and they're going to put their heads down. So you've started firing, But it's not just bang, 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 even for suppression. You have to be smart. You have to use your leadership. You have to bolster. Improving their fire. The leader is directing the fire here. He's using a heavy weapon, which is intimidating. Higher rate of fire. Puts more bullets around the squad. And, you know, when you hear bullets whizzing by, you start to be suppressed, meaning you're keeping your head down. And you can see the color bars here are telling us the state of the enemy's morale. They've gone from green to yellow, and they will shortly be at red. They've been doing an effective job here. He's suppressed. Ah.
Okay, the whistle blows. Field problem begins. The mission finished the exercise before turn 2. And the men say don't get anyone killed. Okay, select the rifle, select the squad. To shoot. Rifle squads may shoot up to 5 hexes away. Shooting will consume up to 2 orders. Shooting through the woods will not provide the enemy with cover, but the building they are in certainly will. I wonder how many squad orders will be used. Yeah, surprising. There's an attack. Let me attack novel. If the target has not experienced this kind of attack this turn, then the attack receives a significant bonus. That's actually really cool. Subsequent firing during the turn will be less effective. That's fantastic. Okay, so here we go. Stone walls stop bullets, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett says, but they are not invincible over there. We've got the firepower. Let's have the other squad keep their heads down until Stern is ready. So cover icons found on units or in hexes. No cover, often lethal. Light cover, you can do better. Medium cover, what you settle for most of the time. Heavy cover, what you want. And extreme cover, what the enemy always seems to have. It's actually quite funny. Squad, prepare to fire. You give the order, your men... Oh, I have forgotten to read one of those notes. You give the order and your men take aim. The enemy is already partially suppressed, so this should be a little easy. Now we select this squad, shoot. Full cover is a full shield, less cover is less of a shield. Lack of cover can be lethal. They do have... What do they have actually? Where do I see the shield? Ah, here it is. We do have light cover. We got suppressed a little. Staff Sergeant Grant, first platoon guide. You signal Sergeant Grant across the way. He replies with equal vigor and gets the other squad into position. A glance through your binoculars reveals Private Roberts as the soldier squints through the circular iron sights at the distant target. Beside him is Private Hancock, who apparently has again mislaid the protective ears on either side of his submachine gun's sights. No doubt to remove something he considers to be a distraction. Equipment and weaponry were pathetic. Soldiers trained with drain pipes for anti-tank guns, stovepipes for mortar tubes, and brooms for rifles. Money was short. That's actually still the case in the German army today. In our reserve army, we had I probably better not say too much, but we had like an anti-terror exercise, and we only had a very, very limited number of equipment, and we used some, something like mock-up weapons, basically. It was without firing anything actually, but still, yeah. So I feel them. Money was short, and little guns were cheaper than big ones. No guns were cheapest of all. So we can do a little shooting ourselves. We eventually gain 1 XP. Remember, ask Hancock about his weapon later. How we keep our weapons slung and we gain trust. I think we need to, make him learn that it would actually kill him in the actual battlefield. So let's do that. Without ammo, the trigger does not move, but you have been on the range enough to know it would kick hard. Trouble is, at this range, the iron sight nearly covers the target. That's probably it for rifle work, Sergeant Bennett says, as the referees make their calculations, but we could give them a taste of 30 cal instead. Same rounds, but lots more of them. We had permission to use a radio. No radios are available, however, we do have the flags. The umpire waves at a set of flags marked radio. You could always send a runner, of course. Slower but more reliable if they don't get shot. There are actually some, for example, Civil War games, I've forgotten the name, but there are some where you actually give the order to a unit and you just send a runner, and it takes the runner a certain amount of time, depending on the distance, get to the unit that's supposed to do something. If the runner doesn't get killed on the way, that's possible too. And then only then the unit will execute your order. So it's quite interesting because the situation might have changed drastically till the order arrives. Okay, you could always send a runner, of course, slower but more reliable if they don't get shot. 30 cal, any 30 cal weapon, but most commonly 30 cal. Machine guns. Gordon Rodman and his book Fuba fucked up beyond all recognition. Should have opened fire with the MG first. Rifles did some work, the MG can do more. What I really want to employ is the mortar. The MG can do more. The rifles took easy, accurate shots. The MG can spit out a lot more lead, but that alone isn't enough. It was probably the lesson the Empire wanted to teach. Firefights can be complicated. Hold the Alt key to mouse over each section for a breakdown of what's going on. That's a really good feature. Signal stern with flags or center runner. Because we are in a firefight, no one might look, but let's signal with flags actually. You signal stern with the flags, he signals back an acknowledgement. All the while the enemy keeps their heads down. That's good. End the round, then activate stern. Continue the exercise by ending the round, but not the turn.
To further reinforce that sense of limited command and control by dividing the turn into leader rounds. If it's your leader round, you only get to lead your men, and you don't get to lead them during Stern's leader round.
That's really interesting. To get the heavy weapons involved, you'll have to switch leaders by ending the round. The enemy will then have a chance to react by taking their own round, but that can't be helped right now. Stern confirms the message, the umpire marks his clipboard. Burden of Command is more like chess than many board games, where an entire side moves and/or acts before the opponent can respond. Pronars might also refer to a system of impulses that better stimulates the back and forth nature of warfare. As always, the enemy gets say about getting in the way. That's actually a really good approach, and one I haven't seen so far. Quickly Google Grenades because it came up before and in the credits as well. Grenade is an old soldier. Someone who enjoys playing who enjoys playing older war games or role-playing games or older versions of them. When newer ones are available, it often complains frequently about newer games, at least according to Wikipedia. And it comes from the French Grenade, Grumbler. I don't think it's an old soldier in this instance. Okay, so it's allied leader, axis leader, allied leader, axis leader, end of turn. Note squads activated in the previous leader rounds may still be ordered to do actions in subsequent leader rounds. Also, I just wonder how to decide which leader you choose. So you have to choose one leader, I guess, and then that you're stuck with him for that round. Sorry. In just a little bit, the real star of this show will become the machine guns. Those can spit out a lot of firepower under Stern's command. The leader is leading, that will be indicated. If no one is yet leading, then that will be indicated too. Okay, that's cool. That answers the question, I think. Earlier theorists aimed to equip the conduct of war, principles, rules, or even systems, and thus considered only factors that could be mathematically calculated. For example, numerical superiority, supply the base, material lines. All these attempts are objectionable. However, because they aim at fixed values, in war everything is uncertain and variable, intertwined with psychological forces and effects, and the product of a continuous interaction of opposites. Clausewitz on war. Quite old, but still true. Now, the entire plan basically vanishes with the first shot. Coordination takes time. Sergeant Bennett says as the two of you watch Stern's men set up shop. No way around that, even if we had real radios. Players round. Player activates as least one squad under his command. His squads need not expend all their orders. Enemies round. Stern's round. Stern activates at least one squad. Enemies round. Players round. Okay. Generally, only one platoon leader can be leading at a given time. Captain is an exception to that, but that will be covered in the next scenario, because we are doing a simplified set of rounds. Oh damn it, I missed one again. End the round. Generally, only one platoon leader can be leading at a time. Now we are being shot at. The spacebar is the hotkey to end the round. After the enemy has their turn, have Stern open fire with the MG. Machine guns have a longer range than rifles and, unlike rifle squads, can fire multiple times for one order each. However, movement costs an MG squad 2 orders. Lots of shooting going on here, actually. End the round. Generally, only one platoon leader can be leading at a time. The spacebar is the hotkey to end the round. After the enemy has their turn, have Stern open fire. So let's end the round. Now we open fire with the MG. Having more than one platoon is good, but you will have to let the enemy take a turn to swap between platoons. Okay, looking good. Machine gun. That's a sound to hear and fear, especially since the machine gun is firing at the enemy beyond the effective range of their rifles, Sergeant Bennett declares. So what's the range of the MG? So it would have been better if he'd bolstered his men first. Ah, I see. Hereby the field umpire checks his watch. Battles are won by frightening the enemy. Fear is... Yeah, and I now obviously did the mistake of just doing what the game says, and I should have bolstered first. Battles are won by frightening the enemy. Fear is induced by inflicting death and wounds on him. Death and wounds are used by fire. Fire from the rear is more deadly and 3 times more effective than fire from the front. Everything is timed. The umpires are more persistent than subtle. Get on with it. Everything is timed. There was a lot of firepower. Worth the weight of carrying it forward, Sergeant Bennett says. But if we really want to make them huddle and puddle in their boots, we need the mortars. Lieutenant Stern will spot the fall of his unit's mortar rounds from his location. The umpire indicates that is the only way to ensure accuracy. Okay. April 23rd, 1940. 3 soldiers of the infantry shoot a small mortar gun for the benefit of the visiting Russians. The leader can direct artillery from his position. Mortars don't need to be able to see the enemy directly to lob shells at them. They just need Stern to be in a position to spot the fall of the rounds. Mortars could sit safely on the reverse slope of a hill and still contribute to the battle. In fact, that is the way they prefer to conduct themselves. Okay.
Lay it on him.
Left click on Stern. Spot with the mortars. Fire the mortars. Spot with the mortars. That means spot with the mortars. Okay, there we've got the leader activated now. Left here to spot for the mortars. Here it should say spot for the mortars, I think. And spot for the mortars. Spot this. Did it now, didn't we? So right click, I need to go for this. Right click. And could we bolster? The mortar? Mortar's out of range, interesting. Be on the same field apparently. Here we go. Found, fired, and fixed, but no
Some of you will
casualties.
recognize this, but note there weren't any casualties. So now we have to, ideally, flank and finish. And Dearborn, let's hope you can do the job here. So it's really about sort of laying down the field work for success. There's a lot of games that focus on drama melee, but from what I've read, for instance, in Leo Murray's book, actually most assaults led to surrender or retreat because people suppressed don't really want bayonets in the stomach.
Find, fire, fix, and mortars fight a moment of calm amid the chaos. Attack against and beyond the flank of the leading hostile elements, followed by support platoon attacking hostile flank directly. Initial poster from the Office for Emergency Management, Office of War Information. Bureau of Special Services remnant images find, fix, flank, finish. As spelled out by FM Field Manual 710. Manual. Consider the situation in depth. Additional information and entertainment. More on the exercise. Let's go for in depth.
So I've simplified here, but if you want more depth, The Real Rule of Small Arms in Combat, good 4-page article. Wargames by advisor Leo Murray goes into some depth. I will say for most gamers we see in playtesting, this is a significant learning curve. They want bang, 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 you're dead, and they overdo it. We have to train them very hard to do the 4Fs. And with that, we have to train them to know the different types of units and their strengths and weaknesses. And I'll let this speak for itself for a moment. Kind of your all-around guys. Notice they're getting into flanking position. Remember, 4Fs. This is our maneuver element. This is our fire base. Ideally with good leadership, unless you sent the leader to help with the assault. And you can move the machine gun, but then if you do that, they won't be able to fire, right? It's a trade-off. Let's let the mortar speak for themselves now. Notice there was a line of sight blockage with the trees, but the spotter helped you. We model spotting. So your leader may creep up and direct indirect fire from behind the hill. It's combined arms to do the 4Fs. Can't miss a patent quote when you have the chance.
Okay. The Army employs field manuals for field problems, and they have revised those. There we go, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett says as the moment of calm fades. There ain't nothing a soldier can do about a shell that has his name on it. However, the squad isn't considered dead, merely pinned. Field umpire notes. They'll stay that way unless you execute an assault to either take prisoners or force the enemy to retreat. Bang 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 will not take positions or prisoners. The squad will just hunker down behind cover and wait things out. That is why you will need to make an assault. If you want to take a position and prisoners, you will have to assault. As General Patton said, few men are killed by bayonets, but many are scared by them. Having the bayonet fixed makes our men want to close. Only the threat to close will defeat a determined enemy. I'm on it. A revealed enemy threatens these orange outlines, hexes. They could perform opportunity fire, okay, that's interesting, on units moving through them. These hexes are safe, but unrevealed enemies could still be out there. Orange hexes outlined can be known enemies hidden elsewhere might still be able to fire, okay. The men just will not know it in advance. Let's take them in the flank, Sergeant Bennett says. No one fights hard if you hit them in the kidneys from the get-go. And if you can stay out of their sights, so much the better. When Stern ceases fire, you will attempt exactly that. The battlefield can become cluttered with messages and indicators. The unit has high morale, has been bolstered and is flanking. Assault chances more than 90%. Assault chances over 97%. The unit has high morale, has been bolstered and is flanking, but you can always toss the dice, take your chances with a bolstered or non-flanking attack. Failure to commence an assault will still expand an order. The odds of successfully initiating an assault can vary greatly. Even a moderately suppressed squad will almost never be able to manage it. But if a squad is in good morale, gets bolstered and takes the enemy in the flank, well, they will almost always commence the assault. To see if the squad meets that criteria, look for the flanking morale boost indicator. Actual hand-to-hand combat in World War II was pretty rare. Exceptions include Stalingrad and Guadalcanal. A determined enemy may not be driven from his position by fire alone. Making full use of cover and concealment, will often remain in his position until driven out in hand-to-hand combat. Bayonet, or the threat of it, therefore, is the ultimate factor in every assault. Okay, you might shoot at the enemy all day and only ever inflict suppression. Make sure you remove the enemy from play, inflict suppression, and then take prisoners via an assault. End the round to switch cover, to switch over to the rifle platoon. The Stern is the active leader. Should say somewhere, right? Unavailable. This turn. End the round. Select these units. Select a squad. Bolster same. Assault. Assaults require high morale and a good timing. Once you have switched back to first platoon, select the squad via left click. Remember to use waypoints via control right click. That's a good reminder actually. After you select assault, but before you right click the target next to commands. We see line of sight here anywhere? No, not really. Let's actually bolster.
That's the way!
Okay. Now we select the squad. And we select assault. And we're gonna go this way. Then we get into here.
Come on, let's get it done!
No resistance, we've got them, good. That's the way, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett waves you over as the enemy soldiers in their red armbands to run off. It'll be harder overseas, but we've got the method down here. Behind him, the field umpire takes another box and on his clipboard. Look at those poor lads going to war, probably dying and being, get like amputation injuries and stuff. Plenty of cold steel is in store for the enemy as privates James H. Walker, John H. Fisher, Charles Sinek, John Hotari, Corporal Frank Swolensky, and Private Peter Brodish from a Ring of Steel. From a Ring of Steel. Yeah, we don't see all of them here. This green donut shows an approximately 70% chance to initiate an assault. Note, initiate, not win. Winning depends on other factors. Interesting. Another enemy squad has been sighted, the field umpire notes. They were attempting to reinforce the objective and now we have begun a counterattack. We must deal with them. The green donut will also appear yellow for lower odds of initiating an assault or even red in dire circumstances. I'm at it. What? Where? We are surely not getting extra time. There, the field umpire says, but doesn't point. Whistles blow, the exercise resumes at once. Okay. Little green eye icon indicates that one of your squads is still undetected on here. by an enemy you can see. Some of their units might also be undetected by your squad. The green eye icon denotes this on a given unit of either side. The fog of war cuts both ways. What are we gonna do now? He can't do anything. We are out of orders. We have 0 orders left. Their range. Oh, 14 hexes. Oh, I don't want them to. No leader point available. Or not active leader. Who's the active leader? Stern. Have him bolster our. Okay, Lieutenant Unnamed is leading the round. Can't do anything right now. Let's end the leader round. Could have moved with them. Bolster the MG. Reckon by fire. We got a bit suppressed there. Once the enemy is suppressed, end the round, not the turn. Switch to the rifles to assault. Okay. But we can't do it right now. Switch back. They have been activated already, right? Is he still active? I think he is. Warning, man, turn, not just round. Press this or spacebar to end your round. Okay. This may then activate the leader and his units for their leader round, and back to you or activate or pass. Rinse and repeat until both sides pass. Field umpire makes another note on his clipboard. Great exercise so far, huh, Lieutenant? Sergeant Bennett asks, pitching his voice up to be heard by the field umpire. The lessons learned from the extended exercise will help save lives over there. Ah, the rare valid point. Field umpire marks. Or you can put in a word. Proceed. Okay, here we see them actually. And which leader is active? I think this is still a bit unclear to me. Assault. We have good chances, but what we can also do is bolster them first. Out of range, I see. Okay, that's bad. They're kind of suppressed, so we can potentially assault them. And look here, we can now also see where they can shoot at. We might lose some men if we do that. They are shaken. fire. We got suppressed. Okay. Go for them. They're flanked and surprised. But the assault did not work. Unfortunately, maybe I should have moved and bolstered them. They can still do something, theoretically speaking. I think I just want to put our troops to here.
Yeah, heroes of the free fucking world here.
I know. I'm with you on that.
We could shoot. Let's do it. Okay, we need to end his turn, unfortunately. Lovely. And the MG squad can also shoot. They're heavily suppressed now. And the G can shoot again. And the turn. Around, sorry. And again, because we can't do anything here. Turns left 2. Field umpire makes yet another note on his clipboard. That other enemy squad is still out there. We better use everything we've got on the enemy before we make an assault, Sergeant Bennett remarks. Rifles, MGs, mortars, and some harsh language for the men to hear before we fix bayonets and go in. I moved in maybe a bit too quickly. They are cowering, so I would need to rally them. Yeah, super stressed, super stressed. Bolster the men. Bayonet. Go this way. With the leader. Flanked and surprised. And suppressed. The other squad is taken prisoner. No running off this time. Whistles blow, now the exercise is truly over. The field umpire signals for you and Bennett to approach. The men get a minor victory for exercise complete, loyalty earned, and the mission only a draw. No one out of action, sir. Exit before story continues, or continue with the story. So I'm going to exit and save. That's enough for the second video of the actual gameplay. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Until then, bye for now.